Hey everybody, Frugal Farmer here. This is where I started my formal education. And that room right there is where I was in first grade at. I was a country boy, so a structured environment like that was a little hard for me. And plus, I couldn't talk all that well, so the teacher couldn't understand me. Back in those days, they thought if you couldn't talk well that it meant you weren't that smart. Well, my daddy had kind of got mad with the teacher. I found this out years later because she even relayed that fact to my daddy. And he said, ma'am, he said, he keeps all my to-do list for me in his head. He don't write nothing down. And but I was a little weak on my reading because I was a country boy. I weren't studying, no reading. And my dad, I told him I liked comic books, so he bought me comic books. My mama helped me with the words. And now in this other classroom, which is right in there, was Miss Smith. Miss Smith was about the prettiest thing I'd ever laid my eyes on. Cupid's dart had hit my heart. I was in love with some Miss Smith. I used to write her letters as best as I could. I'd get people to help me on those to tell how beautiful she was. And I wanted to transfer from my class to Miss Smith. And my dad warned about that. He said, no, he said, you need to stay where you're at. Because my teacher was about 140 years old, I expect. And but I love some Miss Smith. Well, I went to first and second grade here, and I had to go to another school. They changed the boundaries then, and I did not want to go to no other school. I didn't want to leave my friends. I cried, and I did everything I could, but I had to go. And the other school I went to, I fought every day for about a year, and the principal knew what was happening. He even talked with my daddy about it. My daddy told me all this stuff years later. Them boys kept trying to, bully me and start stuff with me, and he said he won't ever start nothing, but he'll jump in right after when they started, because the principal back then, if you didn't start the fight, you weren't responsible. I mean, he expected you to defend yourself. He was an old World War II guy. But anyway, my mom and I were at a fast food place, and I happened to see Miss Smith there. And she was bringing a little boy in. And boy, I was tugging on my mama. I said, there's Miss Smith. So I asked her, I said, who's that little boy with her? She said, well, that's her son. I said, do what? And I just couldn't imagine Miss Smith not marrying me, because I thought her and I would be married and live happily ever after. Well, after I left here in second grade, I never saw Miss Smith again. And I was able to reconnect with a lot of my classmates when I got to high school. It was kind of good because we went to church in this area, so I was able to see a lot of these people at high school, and I knew a bunch of people in high school, so that worked out very well for me. But that's been 50 years ago I was here. Thanks for stopping by. Come back again when you will. Share, comment, like, hit that subscribe button. God bless.